Giggs now has more than 30 major trophies as recognised by FIFA and counting.
I think Giggs' collection's a bit extraordinary, really. He'd probably look like Mr. T if he had them all around his neck. It'd be quite impressive to see him, wouldn't it? I bet he must have his own showroom at home or something. I don't know, he's got that many.
You can see them on display at the Manchester United Museum.
It's only actually when you see it in glass that you realise just how many medals that he's got. And I genuinely believe that it's only when he stops playing and looks back and looks at them, something he refuses to do at the moment, that he'll realise what he's achieved.
It's easy to argue that Ryan Giggs is the greatest British footballer of the modern era if you measure it by his medals alone. Now, and then you're going to get in arguments about whether the Charity Shield is really 7 medals of any importance, and you'll get Spanish people saying that Barcelona's players, Victor Bayer, people like that, have won many, many more. But then they're counting a Copa del Reys that until this year no one's even heard of. Let's be frank about that, you know. Until Barcelona and Real Madrid start scrapping over it, no one cares about the Copa del Rey.
What is it, 30, 31, something like that? I mean, it's just astonishing. He's won every major honour across Europe and domestically, and I don't think there'll ever be a player in the modern game who'll get anywhere near it.
Giggs has won an amazing 12 league titles with Manchester United, including the famous treble in '99.
I've been with him many times when he's won a league championship, and he'll live off that euphoria for a short while, and already the focus is on retaining it. And if they've retained it, it's winning 3 in a row or becoming the first to win 4 in a row. And I think that's the sort of inner sanctum of Ryan Giggs that a lot of people don't see. You see him celebrating, you see him being this unbelievable character, person, player. But when you speak to him, when he's won something, he's looking ahead to how much longer have I got in the game, what else can I win?
Giggs played for an England schoolboys team, leading many to speculate that he could have played for England.
Well, it's often a myth of how he chose Wales. He couldn't have actually played for England. A simple reason being that he was born in Wales, Welsh parents, and is Welsh. He then, of course, moved to England as a small child, hence why he played for England schoolboys, which was a team, basically, if you went to school in England, that you could play for. And was very successful in that, but he was always going to play for Wales. He could never have played for England.
He never did anything, came close to winning anything with Wales, never even played in a major championship.
There's no regret in that when you speak to him. He is a proud Welshman, so much to the point that where he had an indoor swimming pool with the Welsh dragon crest on the tiles at the bottom of the pool. He's very proud of his upbringing.
Ryan Giggs has played more than 570 games across all 19 seasons of the Premier League. He's never played fewer than 24 league games in each season.
Oh, and Giggs keeps going!
I first saw him as Ryan Wilson in a youth match, Leicester City. I was manager of Leicester City. We went to Old Trafford in a youth cup match. I had a good youth team. We lost 2-0, and this boy was on skates. He played down the left wing as a 15-and-a-half-year-old in an under-18 game, and he was on skates. He flew down that wing, and I sat next to Sir Alex that night, Alex as he was then, and I said, what about your outside left? He said, no problem, he's a certainty, absolute certainty.
For Giggs, Curls playing him onside. Ryan Giggs! Unbelievable!
He's been phenomenal. How he's done it, I do not know. I think he's about 47 now, and he's still playing. I think the motivation and the way he stays fit, and it's not just the performances that he puts in week after week. I think it's the hard work that he puts in behind the scenes, I think.
His fitness levels are incredible. He'd take cones out and he'd do doggies and he'd do running drills. He would do shuttle runs. He hasn't always been that quick. He worked on his pace. He worked on his agility. He worked on taking people up.
There was a period in his career where he had hamstring problem after hamstring problem, and I think he discovered yoga. He could go on for as long as he wants, He'll retire when he wants to retire. Not many people can do that. Normally you're retired, but he can play for as long as he wants, I believe.
Here's Giggs. Well played, Ryan Giggs. And again.
That's a superb goal by Ryan Giggs. That turned back the clock. Vintage Giggs.
He had to keep himself good enough to get into the best team in the country for 2 decades. And he had to do that when they had the ability to go out any January or any July and buy any player in the world to replace him.
So many have come and so many have gone, and many of them have been regulars while they've been there, but never at his expense. Others have succumbed and have lost their places either temporarily or permanently and have then been sold, but Giggs just keeps on going.
Well, Ryan Giggs is about to come on and make history for Manchester United. He's replacing Park Ji-sung, and in doing so equals Sir Bobby Charlton's long-standing record of 758 appearances in the United shirt.
He's been coveted by so many clubs, but Manchester United don't get many offers for him because other clubs, however big they are, know that he's not going to move. It's like Paul Scholes is very similar in that regard.
A little over 10 minutes now. Clever ball, great ball, chance for number 2! And guess who? Ryan Giggs! It had to be him! A memorable, magical day for Manchester United and for Ryan Giggs.
I think Ryan Giggs will probably be remembered as the greatest ever Manchester United player.
Certainly in the Premier League, he's been in the best club, most successful club and the best team for 20 years. You can't do that unless you are an extraordinary footballer, and he is extraordinary.
When he burst onto the Premier League scene as a 17-year-old, he was fast and fearless.
He brought an extra dimension in that here was a winger that would run at anyone. He was fearless. Reputations meant nothing. Why would they at the age of 17, having broken into Manchester United's first team? And he was encouraged by Ferguson and the coaching staff to give it a go. Go out there and frighten people.
He put the fear of God into 99.9% of the fullbacks.
Giggs goes around in circles. Oh, he's so fleet of foot, he's so elegant to watch.
And he saw that these supposedly fairly legendary fullbacks that had been playing First Division football for a decade or more were very mortal and very vulnerable. And I think he learned at an early stage to be no respecter of reputation.
I can't honestly remember too many that had a good game against Ryan Giggs and kept him quiet.
Cantona's lovely little touch to lay it off for Giggs. Cantona back to Giggs, who's brought down, penalty.
When he played out wide in that position in his prime, he was untouchable.
And it's measured, the flag stays down, here's Giggs. Still Giggs, it's going to be a United